Welcome to The Wild Show. My name is James Tyler.
And I'm James Dash.
And I'm the producer. He's gesturing towards me now.
And our guest for today is Amy.
Hi, James and James.
So we're going to talk about what we've done in a while, isn't it? Yeah.
You've been done a lot in the last month away, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you went and did a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
Start with the most impressive thing that you've done for you.
Well, 2 weeks ago I treated my dad. His birthday present was to go to the Emmerdale set in Yorkshire.
Yeah, and how was that?
And it was absolutely amazing. I'm not a massive Emmerdale fan as he is, but I absolutely I was thinking, geez, I'm on the Emmerdale set.
So did she go into the Woolpack as the thing?
The pub was closed.
The pub was closed?
Yeah, I know.
That's new for Emmerdale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, do they even film inside the pub that's on the set, or is that a different set?
No, that's in a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the studio was somewhere else in Yorkshire, but they do the outsides, don't they?
Yeah.
And
this is where they do all the outside in the village.
Amy, what do you watch any soaps?
I normally catch bits of them. I don't watch whole ones, but I do know about the Wolfpack, and I was wondering, is if you could you actually go into it if it was open? Would it look like a real pub, or is it just like a set? I wonder.
It's in a thing called the ITV Emmerdale studio tour.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
you can see inside, but they're in a completely different place.
Okay.
There's probably just enough inside to make
the
it look...
only things that had their own sets was on the actual village was the church, the vets, and Marlon's house.
Did it look very real, like a real village then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, they said, was that they had to build a purposely built set because they had people just turning up. And
because there's people that actually live around that area.
Yeah, and then people were knocking on doors hoping to see characters on it. So they thought they had to go to a purpose. And they said they only had 20 weeks to get it done, so they could avoid having to pay rent to do it in the village for another year.
Did you meet any of the characters? Or
No,
nobody. You didn't. There wasn't somebody who was an actor on there doing the thing.
Well, one of the guys that was doing ours said he's been an extra for the last 10 years in Emmerdale. He's been the postman, and he said he's been the guy that tells people what they need to say and stuff. I think your tour guides are somewhere involved in the filming and stuff.
What do you mean, the guy who tells people what to say?
Well, he's in the background, basically.
He gives them their lines, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you mean he's been the director of a couple episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
Then last weekend, I went on a well-known steamship called the Waverley.
Yeah, actually, I've heard about that myself because my brother-in-law, he took his boat.
Yeah.
And took it. So they took it out when it went out from, was it Milford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was letting it out, getting people to go with him, and so they had a view of the Waverley because there was too many people on there.
Yeah.
So.
It was.
But you were on there already.
Yes.
And it was. What was it like?
I think I must have been the first person to book it from Milford, because as soon as I saw the advertisement, I was on the phone 10 minutes later, because I've always wanted to go on that, because I was born in Weston-super-Mare, and everywhere you went in a shopping centre or something, there was always pictures of that travelling, and I was always thinking, I want to go on that. And when I found it was coming to Milford and doing the North Pembrokeshire coast, I just thought, oh my God, I got to do it whilst it's here. And you could see the engine running. There was a bar on there. There was a big cafe that, and you could see the funnels. And my dad leaned against the funnels for a photo. And as I took the photo, it hooted. And I said to my dad, oh, excuse you.
Did it give him a shock as well?
No.
It must have been a bit of a loud
Yeah.
noise, wasn't it?
Well, when we
was it?
when we went out of Milford, it went backwards, and there was lots of people on the Waverley. There was lots of people like just wanting to watch it go out, and then everyone was like waving, and people were waving back, and I just thought, this is mad. And then I was about to say something, and my dad beat me to it, and we had people sitting opposite us. And my dad said, it's like that scene of the Titanic going out, people waving backwards and forwards. And I said, yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking the same. And then this lady was like this, and she said, I'm going to pretend I never heard that.
Did you see this? Did you go and see this, Amy?
No, I didn't, but I was about to say it sounds like something out of a film. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, we were on it for 3.5 hours. And it went all the way up to Ramsey Island and back down.
So where did it drop you back off?
It dropped
Milford?
us back to Milford.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't get left
Behind.
somewhere else, like what they've said on the internet, that it left about 90 people in Devon the other week.
Oh dear. What was it like? Did it make you feel seasick at all, being
No.
on that? No.
I don't.
How big is it?
It's obviously bigger than what we thought it was, because you always see like hundreds of people in a picture and you think you're not going to be able to move, but yeah, you could move. It was quite big.
So they would be under deck. There was a lot of things going on. And
Yeah, there was people.
They had a seating area and things.
Yeah,
and
about 4 people from Norman Industries came over and said, "Hi James, how's things?"
It's a paddle steamer, isn't it? Is that what
It's
it's
a
called?
paddle steamer.
So what does
yeah.
that mean? Does that mean it has the big like wheel thing?
Had big wheels on the side, yeah.
And how do those get powered? I assume it's something steam related.
yeah, I think it's a steam paddle. Paddle steamer.
It runs by diesel now. It
Okay.
used to run by coal,
They've changed it. Okay.
but I think it's been off the sea for the last 10-15 years, having a rebuild.
Okay.
I think it actually sailed for the first time this year.
You went through a sort of Titanic phase like a couple months ago, didn't you? You were really into the Titanic for a while.
Yeah, well,
Did you,
and this had like proper
yeah.
funnels like that.
But do you like old boats or just boats in general, or do you just like
No,
sort of, is
I-
it the history that you like?
I think the Titanic is what got me interested in ships. Yeah, and then my dad playing Flight Simulator always got me into
We'll
playing.
get to that later.
Yeah.
But so do you like the history? Because there's history to the Waverley,
Yeah.
obviously. That you've been
I
talking
also
about.
bought a book about the history of the Waverley. Yeah. And when I was...
It went past Tenby, didn't it? And all
Yeah.
that area and
Yeah.
things, and people were there was queues of people watching all over the
Was
place.
it a one-day only thing then?
No,
So-
it did a trip from Tenby on the Saturday,
Right.
and it did 2 trips on the Sunday,
Oh.
and we went on the first one out on the 11 o'clock one.
Is it touring? Because you said it was in Devon.
Well, it was in Devon the other week, but I think it's on its way back up to Scotland where it was from.
Okay.
It's
So was it going around?
It was
countries,
going
different
to,
places?
I think it went to Llandudno the day after.
Okay.
So it's making its way back up
Yeah,
that way front.
yeah. It
up
was
front.
it was built in Glasgow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I realised, and I didn't know whether it was my eyesight, but I was looking at the top of the funnels and I could only see steam coming from the back one and not from the front. And then I thought, I can see steam coming from the back one, but whether I'm at the wrong angle or whatever, and I couldn't see it.
Depends on.
And when I bought the book and looked, it was the other funnels only added because there was lots of space they needed to use up. So they thought it might look quite good with a second funnel.
It depends if they need to use it. I
Yeah.
think they use only one, but then if they need to use it,
Yeah.
they'll take it and go from there.
Yeah.
Now, for me, this week I've had a visit
Yeah.
from my uncle, John, and his partner from Manchester, and they've gone around. We've been around Amroth, Saxonus, for Tenby and areas.
You went on a boat trip to Lundy, didn't you, last week?
No, but that's
Amy's just hummed like that, like
Sounds
she knew
awesome.
about
No,
it.
well, sounds nice.
Have you done that? Have you done that
I
one?
haven't, no, but I thought it sounded nice. Another boat trip.
Yeah.
Was
but
that because it was your birthday?
it was my birthday on Sunday. Yes. Yeah, I was in Cardiff on Sunday for my birthday.
Yeah.
At a cricket match, as you can see with
Yeah.
this T-shirt.
Oh, right.
That's part of what my sister got me for my birthday,
Yeah.
which has got a cricket thing on there. And,
Yeah. That's
and we'll
good.
talk about a little bit about what's happened with us in the sports section a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, and then we've been also they've been doing all sorts of things, and I've been working as well. So it's,
Yeah.
And what else have you been doing?
What else have I been doing? I went to an All Wales People's First conference on Monday and Tuesday.
Where
And
was that?
that was in Cardiff.
Were you there too?
I was, yes.
Oh, I knew Sam was there, but I didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know you'd gone to.
No, I wanted to go and I'm very passionate about national meeting levels.
And what
I wasn't
was
part of the well, I was part of it because I'm a board of director of All Wales People's First. I wanted to go anyway, but then I got it a bit cheaper because I was the board director.
So what sort of things did you get up to? Was there
Well, what was interesting about it was the theme this year was human rights to advocacy, and they showed a video at the beginning
yeah.
of the person talking about the Bill of Rights that they wanted to do, and then a few videos about groups who campaigned about the issue. Then loads of photos came up from the Through Our Eyes project, and then a picture of me standing at the train station came up. Yeah.
Talking about advocacy.
Yeah.
With that, shall we go to the next
Yeah.
to our guest here, because I
Yeah.
think because
Yeah.
we can.
It is about time to move on to the next
Yeah.
segment.
So we'll go to
you happy to move
our
on?
guest now.
Are
Shall
you
we?
happy to move on, James?
James? Yeah.
Happy to move on.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll move on then.
If
Yeah.
Have you got any questions?
So we're going to ask you some questions about your job. The first question I'm going to ask you is, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Amy Hughes. My job title is Autism Development Officer. So I work for Carmarthenshire County Council in the Early Help team. So we're a team that support people with a variety of different disabilities, ages 0 to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that just Carmarthenshire or other areas?
Just Carmarthenshire, although I do
Yeah.
also work with the National Autism Team, which have actually recently been renamed as the National Neurodivergent Team. So I also I work with all our regional partners as well to see what our services look like and how we can improve our services.
Yeah.
Can I just say, do you actually work with people in Pembrokeshire and can Ceredigion as well?
Well, our team just works with people in Carmarthenshire, but my sort of the other part of my role is talking to the other teams in those areas, because we can cross borders and
Yeah.
things like that, or to see if they're doing something that's working really well, maybe we want to start doing that, or vice versa, kind of sharing that information so that we can all improve really.
Well, if you did what I did, James, went with another project I'm part of. We went to an event that Amy set up, so you can see we met all the groups that Amy works closely with, and it was all people and organisations that could help people with autism. So I got the clear picture of what Amy's talking about.
Yeah, what's your next question? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one. Okay, so the next one is, how long have you been doing the job for?
So I've been Autism Development Officer for just over 2.5 years now. So prior to that, I worked in higher education, so supporting students with disabilities. And then before that, I was a primary school teacher, but really enjoying my job at the moment. I really like working with people, and I particularly like doing things like this, as coming out to talk to people.
Yeah.
So what do you find? I know, because I know a lot of teachers. What do you find the difference between being a teacher and then it's LSA, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then coming into doing what you do now. What was the difference for what?
I think that the skills that you have are kind of similar, but it can it's probably a slower pace in this job, I would say. So being in a classroom with 30 children, it's constant, and there's no give and there's no breaks or anything. It's very rewarding, but very hard job, and also lots of work to do in the evenings and lots of work to do on
lots of unpaid overtime
on the weekends as well. I think there's probably a misconception that teachers have lots of holidays, and although in theory they do, a lot of that holiday is spent working as well. So, I mean, my role now is still work with education, so we're still kind of speaking to our education colleagues to see what they're doing, just kind of have a joined up approach, really. So we're all working together to try and see what's working well, what isn't working so well, and how we can share the load. I
mean, it's a very important part of the process for helping children, but just people in general with autism and neurodivergent things. Because if you can catch it in school, you can get it properly diagnosed early. Yeah. Support can be put in place, but I also know that the resources just aren't available to help everyone who needs it. There's a lot of people who might be fine in primary school, but then issues will crop up later on, but they just won't get caught. And then by the time they get to comprehensive school, it's a lot trickier to deal with it then. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they have a diagnosis, sometimes that helps them to understand themselves better, and it's kind of, sometimes they feel like things kind of fit into place. But like you say, those things in theory should be, if someone's having difficulties, they should be supported regardless, but like you say, we know that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. So the third question is, what can people with autism find hard?
Well, it's such a big spectrum. So, speaking to lots of autistic people, it can vary, but to have a diagnosis of autism, so one side is having difficulties with social communication and social interaction, which might mean making friends might be difficult for some, or for some people, finding employment or maintaining employment might be something that they find difficult. Yeah, but like I say, it's such a big spectrum. It can affect everyone in very different ways. Yeah, and
I know quite a few people out there that have got autism, and I've seen the different struggles they all have differently.
Yeah, me.
So it's interesting.
It was part of my job as well, really, because my job is part to do with the dream team and things. So, but which is what we do, and we give their voices to people with learning disabilities and autism. So that's part of that as well for me.
Yeah,
I think sometimes because it's people can't necessarily see that you're autistic. Sometimes people don't realise that some people might need more support, or they might not see what's going on. So I think that can make it challenging for for children, young people, add any autistic person, just because it's not recognised sometimes.
That's definitely.
What was that?
Don't know.
Is that a reminder?
Was that your phone?
I think there's just something in the room.
Is it like a horse now?
Sounded like someone walking.
It did a bit, didn't it?
How do you help people with autism?
So in the early help team, so we sometimes it's helping parents to understand their children better. So, maybe seeing that there might be sensory sensitivity. So as a result of that, maybe children not wanting to go into certain environments, or finding certain situations challenging. So again, it's maybe supporting parents to understand their children's behaviour, or it could be helping a young person, a teenager who's experiencing bullying, for example, maybe helping them to manage situations, give them some tools or some strategies to help in that type of situation, increase their self-esteem by showing them how fantastic it can be to be autistic. I think sometimes some of our teenagers may at first not welcome the diagnosis, but then when we show them, actually there's look at all these people, all these autistic people that have done fantastic things, that can be you as well. So it can be things like that, or showing them opportunities that are available to them, jobs, education, groups they might like to meet people in. Showing them the things that are out there.
I don't know if you've got this as a question, but how do you find when you've somebody who has got a diagnosis, and does you can see the change in them? Do you see the change in?
Yeah, I think again, coming from parents, sometimes initially it can go either way. Sometimes we hear initially it's a bit of a, oh, well, I've got that now, but what does that mean for me? And it might not be a positive, but for others it can be a, oh, well, now I understand myself a little bit better, and now I see, well, oh, that's why I found that difficult, or it can just kind of bring things. I think it can go either way with people. I think it just maybe depends on what their experiences have been, or the message that's sent out. I think maybe historically it's not been seen as a positive thing, perhaps, but I hope that things are changing a bit now, and we see that actually difference is a really good thing, because it brings something else to the party.
Yeah. Okay, so our final question is, what's your goal for the future?
Made a note on this one. Actually, coming from the conversations that we've had with the producer and Barod about things that we'd like to see happen, maybe looking at some more community-based activities in Carmarthenshire. I'd like to look at developing those. Also, from a personal perspective, I'd like to continue my study as well, and I'd like to do a master's for my kind of personal growth. Those are my
A master's in what? Do you know?
Well, this is the tricky thing, Max, but I'm thinking perhaps psychology.
Okay, yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Yeah, it kind of but it goes like that all the time. I think, it could be something else, but I'm leaning towards psychology.
So what are you working towards anything at the moment, and in your for training for your job? Are you still training in your job?
Yeah, well, at the moment we can do lots of different courses within the council. They offer us things all the time. So quite recently I did systemic practice, kind of a 3-day training course. So we're always looking at how we can improve, but also things change all the time. So what you think you want new evidence comes out, and then you need to relook at how you're doing things. So they're quite good, I would say, in the council, actually, at offering us courses all the time to do. But I think for personal growth it would be the masters, I think, for me.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. That's good. That
Have
sounds
you asked all your
like.
questions?
Not.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Oh, I don't know, off the top of my head,
I,
James.
I always just check. Yeah.
No, nothing at the moment.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go on to our next
Which
topic.
is. What do you think it'll be? Shall we talk
I
a
think
bit? A little. What
films. Isn't it?
films?
It's not just
Yeah.
films, it's anything you want to talk about.
Yeah.
What have you been reading, playing, watching, doing,
Yeah.
anything?
Okay.
Go on there.
Yeah.
Shall we start with the films? And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it a bit easier for
Yeah.
you. Go on. So what have
Well,
you been watching since you've been away?
Yeah, because, obviously
Right.
you fell out the window and died in one of those.
I haven't really been watching films, but well, not up to date. Well, yeah, hang on, not old films, but I've been watching films at the Torch when I volunteer,
What was the latest one?
and I've seen The Little Mermaid.
I saw that as well.
You've been
Yeah.
itching to talk
Yeah.
about this one. We were going to do another review show because we
Yeah.
did that. Let's plug it again. James did a review show,
Yeah, I've done
but
one.
we never got around to recording it.
But
Yeah.
I've seen it as well.
Oh, it's everyone. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
So we're.
I haven't seen the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the original, but I've seen the live action.
Oh, right.
You've seen both
Yeah.
because you wanted to
I've
talk
seen
about the
both.
differences, didn't you?
Yeah, I
What do you think?
There was, there were bits that were better than the original, but there were also things in the original that were better than what they did here.
And which one do you prefer overall?
I prefer the original.
Yeah, me too. Even though I've seen neither of them.
Yeah.
I think I agree with everything you said because I loved both of them, but
Yeah.
I think I don't know what it, and I can't really put my finger on what it was because I loved the actress that played the little. I
Yeah.
thought she was fab
In the new one.
in the new one.
I've
Yeah.
heard generally people have been saying she was the best part.
She's getting critically acclaimed for that for the role. So she's going to
Yeah.
be a big star now. I think her name is Halle Bailey.
Yes,
her
that's
name.
her.
So she and Melissa McCarthy was the
Yeah.
evil
Yes, she was good.
sea witch,
Yeah.
and
She played that very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that compared to what she's done before, where she comedic stuff.
Well, did you realise that she was actually played by two different people? She was, one person played her as the sea witch, another person played the version of her disguised when she was trying to get the Prince Eric away from Ariel. Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Little things you see, don't you?
I'm always, the first thing I always do when I watch a film, if I'm curious on something interesting, I will look at the cast list. Yeah.
Oh, and it said there were two different people playing her. So
Yeah. And it
Do
said,
you know that it was when she was disguised?
And it said when she's in disguise,
Okay.
she's called Vanessa.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I like her song. I always like
Yeah.
her song.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at IMDb for a movie you like? The website.
No.
The IMDb is really good.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
go
it
down
is,
you type in a movie, you just type in IMDb,
Yeah.
it'll come up really quick. You can find a trivia section. It'll have
Yeah.
tons of stuff.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can often
Yeah.
find some cool things. in
That's
that.
what I do. It's just
Yes, I love doing it.
Yeah.
I'll do it
And
sometimes.
and sometimes you can find. Did you notice this in the film?
Yeah, that's
Did you notice
exactly
that
what it
in the
is.
film?
I'll have to do that.
How many times have you seen The Little Mermaid?
3 times.
3 times.
Is this
Yeah.
a new one or the old one?
The new one.
So you don't like it as much as Mario? then?
No, not as much as Mario.
I've
I've also seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
number 3.
You,
Yes,
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a third because there's 2 others.
Yeah.
Is it still Dave Bautista in there?
He is in it, yeah.
This is all more based on the Fox character.
The raccoon.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon.
And it's not. Guardians of the Galaxy has never been my cup of tea, so I don't know it inside out like some people would.
You don't like the fast-paced
No.
You just don't like superhero movies, do you?
No.
Yeah, not your thing. It's not your
No.
thing.
I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I love them.
I've watched all three, and
Oh, you have seen them. I love them.
Yeah, and then I'm getting through the Fast and the Furious movies. I think I'm up to number 9.
Oh,
so
There's that many of them.
it's number 10 now.
I'm just kidding. And
I
the
might have seen one
the
and
10th
two.
one is actually going to be 4 movies.
I did see that previous one, Fast X or whatever.
Oh, you have seen Fast X, have you?
Yeah.
I've heard it wasn't very good. It's not doing very well. It cost about 400 million to make.
Well,
Oh my God.
And you have to double that for the
well,
actual budget.
Well, I wondered if it had any connections with the Fast and Furious movie and movies, and then at the end, someone from the last Fast and Furious made an appearance. And I thought, yes, this is definitely linked to the Fast and Furious.
Well, because does anybody care if we spoil who comes back? Did you care?
No, go
Yeah.
on.
No.
So at the end of the movie, I think it's The Rock, isn't it? He walks out and he goes, "Hello, it's me, The Rock." Do you know why that's like a big deal?
Because I think that's telling you that in the next film he's going to be
in real life, him and Vin Diesel have a very like famous Hollywood hatred of each other. They hate each other. It's the why in the movies they have their agents will be on set during fight scenes to make sure neither of them loses the fight because they will not let the other one win in the movie.
But you don't want to mess with, as Sam would always say.
Yeah.
As she loves The Rock.
Yeah.
The whole Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
She'd always like to see him win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, she always brings him up when you talk about
I like The Rock because he does Maui's voice, doesn't he?
He's going to be
in Moana.
He's going to be playing him in the live action version as well.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing in that.
He's pretty good. I like him. I like him more than Moana as a character.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I wish he was the main character of the movie.
Did you ever see The Scorpion King? He did The Scorpion King when he first started movies. He did The Scorpion King.
That's really confusing to me because he plays a character called the Scorpion King in one of the Mummy movies, doesn't he? The Brendan Fraser
came
Mummy.
from that. Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same thing.
That's not. No.
It's not the same thing. It's very very confusing.
Yeah, but there's a mummy and he plays the Scorpion King in there. But and then he had a Scorpion King.
There's a standalone Scorpion King movie. Yeah.
And then I think, I could be wrong, but I think his first ever movie was Jumanji, wasn't it, for The Rock?
No.
That's pretty new. The Rock. When did The Rock become an actor? What was his first big thing? Because obviously he came up through WWE, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was when he was doing the Scorpion King, he was
that might have been his first one.
He was still doing. No, it wasn't.
We're gonna have
I
to
think it
Google
was.
this,
I think it was two. He did one called The Tooth Fairy, which
It
flopped.
wasn't a,
That's more recent as well.
well-known.
Scorpion King was like 2003, 2004. So.
But
Oh, the ones that he does with the shorter actor. What's it called?
Oh, is it Kevin Hart?
Yes,
Yes,
and they're good
Rush
friends
Hour.
in real life.
No,
Yeah.
he's not in Rush Hour.
Is it Rush Hour? What is it called? I can't remember.
I'm going to have to Google all the Rock's films now.
I'm not a huge
So,
Rock fan. I find the Rock funny, but more just because of how he acts.
Yes. He seems like a nice person in real life as well. Which
Oh,
is
I
why
don't know. I don't know.
Not that I know him personally. Maybe
He,
you have to ask Sam. I
He
suppose.
recently tried to.
You probably wouldn't want to go in the ring with him.
No, I wouldn't. Definitely not. No, I don't think I'd win that one.
No.
Do you remember the movie Black Adam?
Yeah,
He kind of-
I just thought about that.
Yeah, we talked about Black Adam a lot when it was coming out for some reason. But when that movie came out, he sort of like tried to almost do like a hostile takeover of the DC movies, where like he brought back Superman, and he was like talking about how good The Rock, about how Black Adam was going to be like the new face of the DC universe, and then it all collapsed a couple months later, and the movie lost a ton of money, and he's still swearing that it made a bunch of money, but it didn't.
And
That's a known thing.
Superman appeared.
But then immediately got fired. The actor is not playing Superman anymore.
No.
It's going to be a new guy. They haven't cast a new Superman yet.
No.
But yeah, so I don't know. He's I find The Rock funny though. I think he's a funny guy.
Talking of which, who would you want to see as a new James Bond?
Oh, hot
I
button.
would-
There's a clue. There's a clue
I
for
would,
the
I
one.
would like I would like them to contact me.
Yeah.
When I was a
might.
kid, my brother was always watching like Tomorrow Never Dies and GoldenEye, and I just got into the Bond films myself, and then I thought, I thought I want to be an actor just to be in the James Bond movies.
So you want to be an extra? Would you want to be an extra in James Bond?
And then I remember being on the minibus when I was when I was in Special Olympics, and they said you would be James Bond, would you? And I said I'm probably good as a villain, and they said you're a good guy in real life. Don't play a villain. Play Bond.
But it's quite fun playing a villain, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
if I had to play anyone, I'd play a villain. Blofeld and Goldfinger.
And have a cat that you just...
Yes, it's the I love that. I love that trope. I would really. This is my opinion on. I don't really care who plays the next James Bond, but I really want them to do is have it be like set in the 60s and actually be like a big throwback thing and have it be a bit sillier. Because the Daniel Craig ones were they acted very serious and they tried to be as grounded as possible.
Yeah.
But I'd love them to be a bit wacky and be a bit pulpy again. Because if they're gonna completely reboot it again, I'd want them to embrace.
I didn't
the
really
wackiness.
I didn't really like the way they did it with Daniel Craig. It was more like a TV series kind of style, wasn't it? One, but when it was all the other Bonds, it was an adventure
Like a
thing.
standalone.
Something different happened.
Well, those were based on the books, weren't they? The old ones were based on the books. Who wrote them?
And all the
Ian Fleming.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the new ones, they were just original stories. I like Skyfall. I don't really like any of the other ones, though. Any of the Daniel Craig ones.
Yeah. Daniel Craig, Skyfall was good, and the last
he's
one
the
was
best. He's the most interesting as a character in Skyfall, I think.
good. But Daniel Craig never wore a bow tie, did he? He's always got a
Did he not? Oh, I didn't notice.
proper tie on.
I'll have to check that one out.
But yeah. Who do you want to play the next Superman?
Ooh. It's a big question.
I don't really concentrate on actors enough to work out who could be there.
Have you got an opinion on that, James Dash?
Not really.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to be.
I wanted
But, you know.
to be someone young.
If someone rang me and said, "Would you be Spider-Man?" I definitely would. Yeah.
Oh, you prefer that character.
That could be
swinging on webs.
I think that
swinging on webs through New York City.
That sounds fun.
That could be. I think they're looking for a cast to be cast. I think there's rumours.
Tom Holland said he might want to leave, but I think. I don't think he's going to. I mean, they're going to offer him a lot of money to come back, so I doubt it. But there are rumours. Oh no, Sony have said that they're casting a live-action Miles Morales. Do you know who he is?
No.
So he's the other Spider-Man. He's the animated Spider-Man movies. One of them just came out. He's the main character of those, and they're gonna do a live-action version of that character instead of Peter Parker. So they're casting that right now, probably.
That would be good because I like the original way they did it. Yeah.
So where do we go next? And is it sport? Shall we go?
Oh, do you want to talk about Flight Simulator?
Okay.
Go on.
So Flight Simulator is an interesting game. Well, I'll tell you a funny thing I said, and people were like, "What are you talking about?" Flight Simulator.
Tell me what Flight Simulator is, because I haven't played it. So just what do you do?
It's a game where you can fly airplanes.
Yeah.
Like big jets.
They've got like all of them, haven't they?
Little planes. Yeah, and every airport in the world is registered on it. Over the years, I thought when I was about 14 or 15, I've been playing it from. Yeah, my mum would say, "We're going on an aeroplane and we're going to go from Bristol to Malaga." Then when I went up to my bedroom next, I would put that in as a flight, and
It's only about
and you'll have all the proper and you can choose different flight paths that they use. And one time I was going to Alicante, and I realised it sent me on a flight path over Barcelona and Valencia and all those.
Where's the furthest you've been?
And then when I was on the plane in real life, it said we're flying over Barcelona. I thought this is the flight path I was on the game.
Is it in the newest one, the one you have?
Yeah.
It's the whole world, isn't it? You can
Yeah.
literally go anywhere, and they've modelled it all.
Have you
Yeah.
been to New Zealand then?
No, I haven't done that. It's quite. You'll be on Flight Simulator. It takes, as long as you know where you're going, it takes the same amount
It's
of
real
time
time,
as a
yeah.
real
Oh,
aeroplane.
right.
But you can
Yeah.
start from anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you wouldn't need
Yeah.
to fly from
You
anywhere.
can shorten the journey.
If you did Heathrow, you would be travelling for 24 hours. Yeah. And I don't think Barrod would be very pleased.
Have you flown over Carmarthen?
I have done
Have you
Carmarthen.
crashed into Carmarthen?
No,
Can you crash into places?
you can.
Oh, cool. I do that.
Like I've just managed to get it on a Game Pass. On
Yes,
the
you have
Xbox.
Xbox Game Pass. don't you?
And you're having to use a proper controller rather than what you use on
You
the
can only buy a
computer.
stick. I think you can buy a thing for it.
Yeah, and then I flew out of Haverfordwest, and then the airplane was making loads of noises, and it was like saying, pull up, ma. I was like, oh my
You
god.
ran it.
You got it pull up,
Yeah.
when it says that.
And then I accidentally crashed into Skomer Island.
Puffin's all right. Is
But
it
yeah, the
Puffin's on
Puffin's
Skomer
all right,
Island?
Did you see they released a trailer for all the updates they're going to be adding this year? Have
Yeah.
you seen that?
No.
It's cool. It's like the most of the update is going to be like, you can add the planes they use to put out fires in, like when they have big wildfires in
Yeah.
America and stuff. You can do those to put out fires, and you can you can do like construction using
Yeah.
vehicles. But they're adding. Do you know the movie Dune?
Yeah.
They're adding the vehicles, the big flying vehicles from Dune, and you can fly around. Is it? I
Yeah.
can't remember what the desert it's called in Dune, Icarus or something.
Yeah.
But you can fly around using those. So they're still adding stuff to the
Yeah.
game, which is pretty cool, and you'll get it for free because you've got Game Pass.
Yeah.
Um,
And I've got a family member who is very nervous about flying. My mum and my stepfather like to go away and like them to go with them, but gets really nervous, and and then I said one time, if you don't like flying on an aeroplane abroad, I said just play Flight Simulator and do that flight. And then my mum and stepfather were like, what the heck are you talking about? You don't go anywhere on Flight Simulator. And I said, exactly.
Yeah, it's not the,
Yeah.
they're right, because it's not the same thing.
No, I knew that.
Yeah.
I wish you did end up flying to another country when you're doing that. Yeah.
Do you think by doing it though, would it make people kind of get used to it and be less frightened when they do actually go on a plane?
It could
Maybe,
be.
unless you crash it, obviously, and then that is probably not.
yeah, that would probably scare them.
Yeah. What do I like to do? Well, what I got from it is I think by doing Flight Simulator, I've learned how the world works, and I've got the map of the world in my head. So when I go when I'm flying, I know what directions to go in. Yeah, because one time I did a flight from Cardiff all the way to San Francisco, and I got up 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I was up through to 1 o'clock the next morning, and we left it going, and me and my dad went shopping whilst the airplane was on its way, and then we came back, and then the plane was still crossing the Atlantic.
It's good to know.
Where you put it on autopilot.
Oh right, I wonder if they do
keeps
that
it
in real
flying.
life then.
Yeah, they do.
And have their lunch and stuff.
Yeah, and then the next morning.
James, before you carry on, we might need to move on to the next segment.
Yes, all right.
Wrap up quick.
I'll just end this. Yeah, and then after all that flying and successfully getting to San Francisco, I crashed on the runway.
Oh.
Came down a bit too hard.
Right, so you done?
Yeah.
Cool. Move on to sport then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go on, you've got some sport for us today, haven't you?
Yeah, well, you reminded me, and I have been watching this person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so
how do you know him, actually? Do you know him, this guy?
I play with him.
Tell us who he is.
Right, so he plays for Pembrokeshire Vikings. That's how I know him, through the rugby team.
Because you also play for Pembrokeshire Vikings.
Yes.
Well,
And I
just
recently
barely.
started.
Yeah.
And I met him, and he said, "I'm going to the Special Olympics. I'm doing weightlifting." And then I just said to him, "Oh, that's good." I said, I finally met somebody who I actually know who's going to be in it.
It's Bledin, isn't it?
It's Blevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he won 4 golds the other day, and the Pembrokeshire Vikings social media is completely plastered in the news reports, people thanking, saying well done, and thanking like the coaching team he's got at the weightlifting for the achievement.
Where is the Olympics this year?
It's in Berlin.
Yeah.
The Special Olympics World Summer Games.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he just does the powerlifting.
The special, yeah.
Yes, the powerlifting, isn't it?
Yeah, he does that.
Does
Yeah.
the Special Olympics, location-wise, go along with the main Olympics, or is it just completely its own thing?
Completely different.
Is it the same? Is it associated with that Olympics, or is it just using the name?
No, it's more of a. It's a Special Olympics. It's for people with learning disabilities, but they.
No. I know, but is it like, because the Paralympics is the same organisation as the main Olympics? I think. Right?
The IOC.
Well,
I don't think
they're
necessarily.
they're all different organisations.
Okay.
Special Olympics is registered as a charity that gives people with learning disabilities an opportunity to do sport.
And was he, when you saw him beforehand?
Yeah.
Was he actually loving going? He actually loved that he'd been called up.
Yeah.
To do the Special Olympics.
And he was telling everybody about it. And I did try to get a podcast with him, but he was so busy with trying to get ready to go that I have agreed with him that we will do an interview when he comes back. So hopefully I'll see those 4 gold medals in person.
That'll probably be about a month. He'll be back before a month from now, but we'll probably interview him about a month from now.
He'll probably be back next week.
So Amy, do you actually know of anybody who has been to those Special Olympics or something?
I don't know. I haven't come across anyone.
No.
In fact, I hadn't heard the team. What was the name of the team you mentioned? The Pembrokeshire
Vikings.
So what sport is that?
That's a mixed
Rugby
ability
team.
rugby team.
So there's one in Llanelli,
Warriors.
the Warriors. That I was thinking of. But do you play them ever?
Yeah. The team have played them. I haven't played with the Vikings yet.
You played in the last game, didn't you?
I played in the last game against against a proper rugby team. Well, a proper non-disabled team who were having to learn before the game started how they had to tag people who didn't want to be
tackled.
Contact.
Yeah.
And I tried to. I got my hands on 2 people. The referee didn't see it and awarded 2 tries in the game. Yeah, because the referee didn't see me touch them.
Yeah, you joined right at the end of the season, didn't you?
Yeah, I joined in the final game of the season.
But you enjoy playing with them.
But that's given me a taste of what to come against in the next.
You're gonna go back, aren't you?
You're gonna go back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, and of course, well, we have to talk about the Ashes. Both men and women are at the moment.
Yeah.
First game for the Ashes between England and Australia. Australia won it, only just 2 wickets. And today, it's like the women are on, and they're last night. I see the Australians with 300. Well, I'll just say I've got 3 wickets left. Now to carry on today if it's not raining.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is there anything else you would like to talk about, Jack?
Well, Amy just said she doesn't know anybody who's been in the Special Olympics, didn't she?
You're talking.
I think you better fill me in then.
No, there's someone else, isn't there?
I have never been representing in the World Games, but I represented Pembrokeshire Harriers on a mainstream level, and I was in the Special Olympics Carmarthenshire team.
Well, now I know someone who's been in the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
And Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sam.
Oh right.
They were both in it. They were both doing running.
Runners, right.
And the 2 of us in 2012 were picked to represent Great Britain
Wow.
in the European Athletics meeting,
Where did you go for that?
and we went to Russia for that.
Amazing.
And I came home with 2 golds and a silver.
Have you got them hanging up somewhere in the house
Yeah,
now?
We need to bring them in.
Yeah.
they're hanging up on a mirror holder.
You also play balls, don't you?
Yeah.
And you've won.
I've won medals doing indoor bowls as well.
Yeah. So who do you play for?
Just a year after I started playing, I was representing Wales.
You must just have the knack for it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sporty person.
Who do you play for then? For
I play for the Pembrokeshire Disabled Bowlers Club, which train every Monday, and then they do competitions a few times a year, and then one of those competitions is a few athletes from the team being picked to go into the Welsh squad, and I'm hoping to try and I haven't qualified for the last 2. But the first one I did qualify for, and that was in Scotland, and this is going to be back in Scotland in 2024. So I'm hoping to return for
that Glasgow, is it? Do you know?
No, Falkirk.
Falkirk.
And I've been told there's talks about being in Falkirk again. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? And then, so you've got to train to do that now, then.
Yeah.
And that's every Monday, and then.
Yeah.
So that's a big job.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
a lot of commitment.
Yeah. So I haven't got anything else to add. Really, Amy, got anything?
No, I
going
don't.
on
It's
there?
nice to hear that story.
Yeah.
We do have Sam. She's not here today. She has to go. I can't remember what she has to go. Oh, she's going to watch racing or something.
Yeah. Her family do racing.
Yeah, we talked about
horse
that.
racing.
No, rally
Car
car
racing.
racing.
Right. Oh,
They
right.
talk about it on the last episode, which, as of recording this, hasn't gone up yet. But
Yeah.
She talks
Wondering
about
where
it
it
now.
was.
Yeah.
but yeah, she's doing that. But she also went on a boat, like a big sailing ship.
That didn't leave the dock.
No, it didn't leave the dock. But she got some interviews with people, so we'll put that in right now.
Was it in dry dock then?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Well, those are some good interviews.
so
Okay.
so probably in the next podcast we'll have some interviews from Sam.
No, we'll have them in this one. She's already
yeah.
done it.
So it'll be added to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do not have headphones on, but let's have a listen.
I don't have them yet.
That's why I'm saying.
They're on the computer.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I'm saying.
I'm just saying I'll put them in here.
Yeah.
So my name is Linnea Johansson, or Linnea Johansson. I should say in Swedish. Linnea Johansson.
And what is your job on the boat?
So today I'm here as a BM, so as a bosun's mate, so volunteering. for today. But other times I've been on as voyage crew.
Are you enjoying it too?
I'm absolutely loving it. I keep coming back. They can't get rid of me.
How did you find out about the organisation?
So it's a friend of mine that I know through scouting. So I've always loved sailing, and she knows I love tall ships. And she came on a voyage quite a few years ago when the Girl Guides chartered the ship on Lord Nelson, and she told me about it, and I booked on, and ever since then I keep coming back. So it'll be my sixth voyage coming up. So yeah, I'm very grateful to her for telling me about it. We've actually ended up doing one voyage together, which is quite nice, by accident.
Oh my god.
Which is pretty special, yeah. So yeah, and they can't get rid of me.
How did you get involved with the organisation?
So after I did the voyage, I got a recommendation to be a watch leader after my first voyage, and also as a cook's assistant. And then I've had recommendations for bosun's mates, which is what I've come back as today. So by going on a voyage, learning about it, getting involved, and sort of just getting stuck in wherever there was opportunity, I then got the opportunity to get involved and volunteer, which I love. I'd love to work. People are like, oh, do you work here? I really wish I could say yes. Maybe future.
Yes, what is the plan for the future?
That's a good question. So I've had a bit of a plan for the future to run away to sea for a year. So I'm really lucky. My company do a career break. So at the moment I'm trying to figure out how, what, when and where to do that. If I could spend a year on Tenacious, I absolutely would. Hands down, I would take that year off from tomorrow. As part of it, I hope to do a couple of voyages as a volunteer, so coming back as a bosun's mate on here. Also doing a couple of voyages as voyage crew, which would be nice.
Wow.
Yeah, and hopefully take the opportunity. I like the idea of going, when she migrates south for the winter usually, actually going down and do some travelling in the Mediterranean with her, and in the Caribbean. That'd be really cool.
Well, that'd be really lovely.
Yeah. So, but that year will certainly involve Tenacious. I'm on for the next voyage, which is from Cardiff to Liverpool.
Oh my god.
Which will be good. I was meant to be on for 1 week, and it's now turned into 3, so who knows?
That's good.
Yeah. So, definitely. More voyages for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely loving it.
I think I am as well.
Yeah, have you been on before?
This is my first time.
Oh, wow. Have you any particular aspect that you enjoy the most?
I think all of it.
Yeah.
But I've never done the climbing bit yet.
Yeah.
So wasn't sure how I'm going to feel, but
Yeah.
I didn't do it today because I wasn't sure I was ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think the beauty of it is it's such a supportive environment. So there are a couple of people who were not sure how they feel about heights, and they weren't really sure they wanted to do it. But like we always say, what I always say, that you know you can give it a go. You can't go climbing without a harness, but you cannot go climbing with a harness. So you might as well get the harness on, and then if you change your mind, you can actually give it a go.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of people going out on the bowsprit at the moment. Bowsprit, rather, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Who are loving it. I don't know if you can see them on the netting.
Yes, I've been up there a few times.
Yeah. Nice.
What's your name and what do you do on the boat?
My name's David, and I'm one of the bosun's mates on the boat, which is a volunteer. So on a day sail, there's lots of us. There's 5 of us, I think, but normally there's just two bosun's mates.
How did you find out about organisation?
I used to work I worked for a charity, and they chartered a Jubilee Sailing Trust boat for a week and invited their people to raise money for that charity and go for a sail. And I did that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I got invited to come back as a volunteer crew.
Oh my god, do you enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant.
And what you got planned for the future?
Right. Well, I'm not young anymore, so I'm retired. So I just want to carry on doing this while I'm physically able. I've got another trip. Well, I'm on the next trip, which is to take it from Cardiff to Liverpool, and then I'm not doing anything else with the Jubilee Sailing Trust until August, when I join it, Tenacious again, up near Newcastle, take the ship all the way down to Chatham in Kent. So that's what I'm doing in the close future. Yeah.
I'm glad you're loving it.
Yes, it's very nice, and I meet people like you, and we work together, which is really good, isn't it?
well, this is my first time doing this.
Yeah.
I've never been on a boat like this, but I have been on other boats myself.
Yeah. So this is very different from the boats you'll have been on before, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You enjoying it?
Loving it.
Good.
So,
Good. Well, that makes it good for us.
yeah.
Yeah, to hear that makes it better for the people who are volunteering.
Hello, Sam. My name's Darren. I'm the captain of the Tenacious.
How did you find out the organisation?
Well, I'm a seafarer by trade, so I had heard about the Jubilee Sailing Trust, and I applied for a job with them, and I started working years and years ago, and I've been captain for about 10 years.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's the best job in the world, I think.
Do you like it?
I love it, absolutely love it, yeah. Has its challenges, like anything, of course, but I think it's a great job. I really enjoy myself.
How did you get involved with the organisation?
Well, I was employed. Well, I am employed by the trust. So being a professional seafarer, and then you work on different ships and things like that. And I was employed by the Jubilee Sailing Trust. That's how I got involved in them. I did a bit of volunteering to start off with, and then I was employed full time as a full-time employee.
And what is the plan for the future?
Well, the future is we've got voyages that effectively see the ship around the whole of the UK. So when we leave here on this coming Monday, we go up to Liverpool and then round Scotland, Norway, and back down to the east coast of the UK. And then this winter, there's a winter programme where we do maintenance and things like that. And then the following spring, then we start our voyaging around the UK and Europe again, and possibly the following winter we may go to the Caribbean or further abroad again. I'm not really sure yet, but what we try to do is we visit as many ports around the UK, Ireland, and the near continent as we can.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it. Oh, it's great. Yeah, we meet some fantastic people, see some great places, see loads of different wildlife, and weather as well. It's different weather, you know. It's all adds to the spice of the adventure. It's great fun. It's a great job.
I'm glad you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. Have you enjoyed it this morning?
I loved it.
Yeah, good.
And also it's my first time as well doing this. So
Yeah, have you find it then? Have you find it all right?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
So hope to do it again.
Well, we hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was to say thank you very much for joining me for
Thanks for
being
inviting
here.
me.
Thank you for coming, Amy. Nice
It's been a pleasure, thank you.
I think from last time we interviewed you as a practice run, we'll say, you know,
Yes.
because it never happened. Yeah, I think this has been a good opportunity to have a much longer chat.
Yeah, it's
and
been really
find out.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
we had like a whole queue outside the door for,
Yeah, you had
for
quite
an
a few.
interview, didn't we?
It was the
Yeah.
first time you'd ever... Well, you'd done interviews before, but it was...
Well, it was the first time we went to a bit of an event like that.
And it
Yeah.
was a really
Yeah.
busy day as well, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, there were
so many
So,
people.
gosh,
Where was this?
This was just outside Kidwelly.
yeah. Do you know the Burns Conference
yeah.
Centre? So
It was the John Burns Conference
yeah,
Centre, wasn't it?
they've
Wow.
got they run lots of activities there.
Yeah, and there was like activities like upstairs and downstairs. You had all the stalls and
But lots more people
stuff.
came than we expected, which is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
We
But it
were
was
all-
a little bit too much.
We
as
were
well.
all shocked. But, well, yeah, for,
Yeah.
What, for what the event was meant to be, maybe that was a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll book a bigger room next year.
There were towards the end of the day, there were lots of parents walking around going, "Oh, my child is in the car.
Yeah,
they
we can't
they
come
can't
in.
do it anymore."
It's too loud.
It
there's
became
too
a
many
theme in the
people.
second
Yeah.
half of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the show because it's
Yeah.
I have. It's been fun. Thank you.
and it's
Yeah.
good to see James back.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad you.
And hopefully I can stay back, and hopefully all of us as a trio can return in the next
And
episode.
hopefully he won't fall out the window again.
Oh yeah.
No. Well,
He didn't actually fall out the window.
I didn't fall out the window, but Sam mentioned it, and then Max did a special
I
effect.
put a splat sound.
Oh,
he disappeared.
That's how it worked. Anyway,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Are you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Cool.
So okay, we're going to finish here now. So
It's goodbye from me, James Dash.
yeah, it's a goodbye from me, James Tyler.
Goodbye from me, the producer.
Okay.
And goodbye from me, Amy.
Yeah, and we will see you again in the future.
Thank
Yeah.
you.